Yeah, my name is Mick Martinez. I'm the Vice President for Marketing and Communication here at Nube, which is the newest STEAM Discovery Center for El Paso. Yeah, so the Children's Museum really started back in 2012 when the bond. And so for many large cities just like El Paso, it was really important that we have a quality of life amenities in El Paso, so not to attract tourists, but really to help out the community of life here in El Paso. It had over 33 to 77 different community stakeholders who participated in the creation of La Nube. Everything from the building architecture, the exhibits inside, the educational programming. And they also realized that a children's museum needed to be aged up and that there was needed to be a hybrid approach to a STEAM Discovery Center. And so with all that feedback, La Nube was born. With La Nube, I mean, from the architecture itself, you're not going to see any building throughout the world that looks just like this. The way it's designed is very specific to El Paso. The name La Nube means cloud in Spanish. The idea that clouds rise above everything, we can reach for the clouds. So just the name itself is creative. Yeah, so we have 9 learning zones, and within each of the learning zones, we have exhibits themselves. And so the 9 learning zones are on the first floor is Connected Sky, which is an amazing experience because we have the exact same exhibit at La Guardadora in Juarez, and it is a 4K pipeline 3D screens that you'll be able to interact with individuals and children in Juarez at the same time to make things on the screen interactive. First of its kind in the nation for that. Then you come up and we have Our Sky, which is all about weather forecasting, sustainable energy, the world around us. And then you're in this zone, which is Fly High, which is all about aeronautics and space and air and the physics of air. And then you have our Anything's Possible Climber, which is 4 stories, largest indoor inclusive climber. And so that includes a wheelchair course at the very top for kids to really experience empathy of what's like to be in a wheelchair. You don't get that type of experience elsewhere in Texas. Then you go up into Flow, which is our water. It's the largest water exhibit in the Children's Museum, where we have water on the 4th floor. Who would have thought to put water on the 4th floor? But the technology behind it's amazing. Then you go into Making Waves, which is our music station, and that's where you learn about music and sounds, and you can code your own music symphony. You can go into our green screen and create music videos. But then you can go up to our Fab Lab area, which is in Challenge It, and it's really our makerspace, our 3D prototyping. This is where you can tinker and you can create stuff and you can showcase it. We want to be the hub of innovation, and La Nube is all about non-traditional ways of learning, hands-on. We know that different children with different abilities have different ways to learn and grow. And here at La Nube, it's all about hands-on experiences, testing, trial and error. And within our traditional school systems, many of them are test-based. It's either right or wrong, multiple choice, right? Here at La Nube, you learn by experiencing and practicing and improving and reiteration. And all of that develops curiosity and innovation. And so our goal is to really bring in children and youth and families to come and learn a different way. And that activates a different part of the brain. And that's what we want here at La Nube. We pride ourselves at La Nube to be a non-hierarchical bilingual institution, meaning that if you go to other children's museums or institutions like ours around the nation, we have English on top, we have English and Spanish on the bottom, Spanish on top, English on the bottom. We're non-hierarchical, meaning that every exhibit is bilingual. And so when children come in and families come in, they don't realize that it's ingrained everywhere, from our technology screens to our signage to the way that the exhibits themselves are created. And that is a high impact within our community where English and Spanish is intertwined. But when you go on the first floor, you have Connected Sky, and for my children who came in for the first time, they're playing with the screen, and then all of a sudden they look to the left and right, and they don't see anybody there, but they see children on the screen until you communicate to them and translate that that's them in another country across the border. Then it clicks in their mind like, wow, there's technology that can do that, and they can interact with them. And so I think those experiences develop wonder and a sense of curiosity and exploration, and I think that's what we strive for at La Nube. The idea of providing 21st century view on education and hands-on activities and experiences. School districts can go to all sorts of things for a field trip, right? They can go to the zoo. They may go do some other play areas, right? But this is hands-on learning. We also have the ability down the road to do professional development and be a leader in this community for STEAM-related topics. So we can bring in well-renowned individuals in the STEAM fields to do talks, to provide insights on their areas of expertise here at La Nube. And when you're in a very creative and unique spot like us, it just drives more innovation. And so from our educational programming to the partners that we bring in, from the exhibits that we currently have, and to all of our outreach and community programs where we bring La Nube out to the community, those are ways that we're encouraging a new way of learning. You look at it at first glance and you're seeing all these amazing colors and you're seeing these exhibits, but when you walk in, every guest gets an RFID bracelet. And so if you're familiar with Disneyland World and they have the magic bands, we have ours that are called Discovery Bands. And so every guest who comes into the museum who purchases a ticket gets one of these bands. And what it does is it allows you to go to each of these technology screens. We have hundreds of them around La Nube, and you'll be able to tap it. You create an account, and every experience that you experience with a zone or an exhibit will be saved in some type of medium or format. Give you an example. If you go down our slide and our Anything's Possible climber, not only does it take a selfie of you, but it tells you the speed that you're going. If you're flying a plane here and fly high, it will show you the velocity and the height and how fast you're doing, and then a slow-mo of the trajectory of your plane. If you go up to making waves, you'll be able to save and code your own music symphony based on our deconstructed marimba. And so we have plenty of those throughout the museum. And what's really neat about that is when you leave the museum, it's tied to an email address and you get your own personal website. And that website, you have all your mediums and experiences that you have at your fingertips, and you can share them with friends or family, or you can come back and say, how can I improve on an experience I did? The community has the ability to donate to La Nube to help serve their own neighbors, to help ensure that those experiences are not for those who have disposable income, but every child, every adult, every family can come to La Nube, enjoy it, experience it, and take it back home with them. For La Nube itself, one of my main goals from a marketing perspective is putting La Nube on the map nationwide. El Paso is growing tremendously, and we have a lot of investment in not only our community, but in the education field. La Nube is part of that infrastructure. And so we want the rest of the nation, the rest of Texas, to know that El Paso is leading in certain areas. So our goal is to put La Nube on the map, to be at the forefront of what a STEAM Discovery hybrid children's museum would look like across the nation. Our goal is to bring in top-notch partners and organizations to help solidify STEAM learning in our community so that it not only stays within the confines of this 4-story, 77,000 square foot facility, but it actually bleeds out into our community. And that community is now more inspired, is more creative, and then drives our community to, raise the quality of life here in El Paso. And